Khalifa. Anyway, successor. He was contained, but it's a religious, political office by this time. Not just a pope, but also military commander and so on. Well, successor to the prophet, whatever he was, that's what the caliph was. It's called the caliphate, this period. So Ali was proclaimed caliph in 656 by his supporters. But the previous group didn't approve again. Not just the Umayyads, but the Omar Abu Bakr party. So there's a story that goes around about Ali. As much as he won, he always lost. Ali in Islam, and in many ways, for Shiites even today, is the beautiful loser. For Shiites, he's considered the paragon of Islamic virtue, all knightly chivalry, all perfection, all goodness. But on the other hand, he's not really long for this world in terms of political maneuvering. And as soon as he seems to succeed, he fails. Well, the first thing that happens to him immediately is in the Arabian Peninsula proper, he has to fight for his caliphate. And he has to fight people like Omar's son, Abdullah ibn Omar, Abu Bakr's descendants, in particular Aisha, who was Abu Bakr's daughter, who claimed some status as the previous favorite wife of the Prophet and so on. And he has to fight these people near Medina in a place called the Battle of the Camel. Not a place, but a site. The Battle of the Camel. I think this is also in 656 right away, or 657. I'll just put 656 to 57. Why is it called the Battle of the Camel? Because in the middle of the battle, it was said that Aisha came out and encouraged the troops against Ali, and they always had a grudge. They always had a grudge. Because way back, 30 years before, it was Ali who was one of the accusers of Aisha for being unfaithful to the Prophet when she was being taken to a camp to meet him and so on with her escort and so on. So they always had this bad feeling, apparently. In any case, Ali is victorious in this battle with Omar's descendants and with Abu Bakr's party and the previous group who had been caliphs before Uthman. So it looks like he's fine, right? He's got everything sorted out. These people, Aisha, he doesn't kill them. He puts her under house arrest for the rest of her life. And she keeps her pension and things, but she's not able to cause any more trouble. I don't know about the fate of the others. I'd have to look into the Muslim historians more carefully. But at this moment, Muawiyah, I told you we'd get to Muawiyah. Muawiyah is the governor of Syria. He is the son of who? Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. And who's Abu Sufyan? The former head of the Meccan aristocracy, the Umayyad principal clan of the Quraysh tribe. Basically, the governor of Mecca in the old days. This is his son now, who came north with his older brother Yazid when his older brother was killed, now a grown man, governor of Syria, where the Umayyads entrenched themselves out of Arabia proper. Medina is totally Muslim, but these provinces are more Arab in a way. And so you see why the Umayyad Caliphate that will now grow on Muawiyah's shoulders. The center is Damascus, not Mecca. And Damascus is where Arab hopes have always been centered, even today. So when we're having trouble in Damascus today, it's Arabs. It's the Arab ideal of Damascus. Medina is not the Arab ideal. It's the Muslim ideal. The Arab ideal is going to be Damascus and Spain and places like that. We have to separate Arabism from Islamism. And Arabism goes older than Islamism, and I've showed you the roots of Arabism, which is a different thing. Now, even Arabs themselves are unaware of these things. They don't understand half of this because it's so mixed in their brain and in their culture and in their behavior. But from outside, we can see the different strains come from different sources. Islam is not the same as Arabism, and Arabism is not the same as Islam. And the Umayyads represent Arab aristocracy. Ali and others represent Islamic aristocracy. Okay. In Damascus, Muawiyah, in Friday prayer, the story goes, hangs out what's called the bloody shirt of Uthman. It's a proverbial thing in Arabic now. Hanging out the bloody shirt of Uthman. Hanging out the bloody shirt of Uthman. I don't know if I have to write that on the board, but since you guys seem to like things written on the board, I'll write it on the board. Write it for the TV audience, right?
That's right.
Okay. Hanging out the bloody shirt of Uthman. This is what Muawiyah did. By doing that, what's he doing? He's asking for justice. He wants proper retribution. He wants justice for the killing. He wants vengeance on the murderers of Uthman. He wants vengeance for Uthman. Why does he want vengeance for Uthman? Uthman's a member of his clan. He's basically, Muawiyah is now basically the, what happened in Lebanon recently? The prime minister was blown up in a car. And now his son is Rafi Hariri, and now the son's name is, what's the son's name? I don't know. Anyway, he wants justice for his father, right? And the Syrians are being called to account in the UN and so on. It's the same thing. On the son devolves the leadership. If you look at the Kurds in northern Iraq, there's a guy called Barzani, who's one of the Kurdish leaders. He's the son of the famous Kurdish military guerrilla leader called Barzani as well. It always devolves, these clans in the Middle East always devolve on the oldest son. For instance, in Lebanon, there are the Druze. And there was a guy called Kemal Jumblat, who was the leader of the Druze in Lebanon. He was assassinated. Now his son is called Walid Jumblat, and he leads the Druze in Lebanon. It's all over the Arab world like this. The son succeeds and takes vengeance for the father and so on. It's still going on today. And that's what people don't realize when they're bringing democracy into the Middle East, which I'm all for. I'm maybe not democracy, but I'm for constitutions. I believe people need and deserve and must have a constitution to avoid situations of being bully boys and bad courts and being threatened and stuff like that. Whether it's a pure democracy